Most people are familiar with common invasive species, such as Japanese Knotweed that can grow through concrete, or Giant Hogweed that can produce a toxic sap that can harm human skin. You might also have heard of Spotted Knapweed that is found along roadsides, or even Oxeye Daisy that is also found everywhere. However, have you ever heard of Absinthe Wormwood, Salsify, or even mountain blueweed? There are tons of lesser-known invasive species that still impact our native ecosystem. Let's talk about a few lesser-known invasive species and take a closer look. First up, we have Western Salsify, or goat spear, also known as Tragopogo dubius. It is a perennial that has a dandelion-like seed head, and it was originally introduced as an ornamental plant. However, the leaves are linear and grass-like, and the taproot can exude a milky juice when broken. Interestingly, these flowers can also remain closed on cloudy days. You might recognize this one as mountain blueweed, or Cantaria Montana. This is a common garden perennial that was introduced from Europe, but it easily escapes gardens and will invade natural ecosystems. This plant self-seeds, making it extremely difficult to control, and it can be found in meadows, pastures, and even roadsides. There's tons of better alternatives than this pesky garden invasive. Moving on to Cleavers, also known as Galium aperine. It can also be known as hitchhikers or sticky weed, and these are annuals that will attach themselves with small hooked hairs that grow from their leaves and stems. This can aid in dispersal. Cleavers also have small star-shaped flowers. Next up is Absinthe Wormwood, or otherwise known as Artemisia abyssinium, which is a long-lived perennial that is very fragrant with a sage-like odor. However, it is very bitter to the taste. It has small yellow-like flower heads, and the leaves are covered in fine gray hairs. Queen Anne's lace, or Dosas carota, otherwise known as wild carrot, is very common in disturbed areas and was introduced from Europe as a medicinal herb. However, it is a threat to grasslands, and its leaves are fern-like and hairy. Last but not least is common mullen, or Verbascum thapsus. This is a densely woolly biennial that can reach more than 1.8 meters tall. It has felt-like fuzzy green leaves that has a yellow 5-lobed flower. The dead stalks are woody and brown when dried. Keep an eye out for these lesser-known invasive species.